Today we'll be looking at various cases of people getting fired or becoming unemployed as a result of their own social media posts. Some of these are well-deserved, others not so much. But let's begin with a well-earned career dismissal. The urgent care clowns. What happens when healthcare workers pose for a photo next to your snail trail? People get fired, that's what happens. Around September of 2025, a group of health professionals working at an urgent care clinic in Santa Barbara, California, gathered around to participate in what they presumably thought was a harmless and funny TikTok upload. The TikTok post responds to the question of, are patients allowed to leave you gifts? This TikTok is supposed to be the staff replying to that question. It says yes, and then the TikTok shows off the gifts, which are actually just stains of what I can only presume to be sweat, urine, and potentially even vaginal secretions left behind by patients who sat on the exam table. The TikTok urges viewers to guess what the substance is, basically doxing people's snail trail without their consent on TikTok.
The video jokingly referred to the soiled items as, quotes, gifts from patients.
The TikTok video naturally sparked outrage in the comments and was quickly deleted. However, it was already too late. The snail trail dox video spread like an invasive slime around social media, infesting sites like Reddit, and commenters expressed their disgust en masse. There's no way around it, this was a gross violation of patient privacy, and many were just shocked and appalled that the employees thought this was acceptable. I mean, if they're publishing stuff like this, what are they doing that we're not seeing on camera? Sutter Health, the nonprofit organization that owns the clinic, released a statement on September 3rd, revealing the employees behind the TikTok had been terminated. Interestingly, they also claimed the person who had taken the photos hadn't even been employed at the time of these images being taken, further adding to the bizarre nature of this incident. Like, why the fuck is someone who doesn't even work there taking sweat-stained photos with your entire staff in 4K and posting them to TikTok, bro? Anyways, this situation was quickly resolved, and the urgent care clinic clowns would be thrown out of this sweat, stain, and secretion circus of a workplace for good.
I can't even imagine what it must feel like to have gone to that clinic, been examined, and then go online and see the people who were performing your examinations standing next to and laughing at the table that you were just sitting on.
The Chick Fil A drive-thru bully. You might expect this case to involve a Chick Fil A worker getting fired for misconduct, but it's the customer who found themselves without a job. Chick Fil A is one of the most beloved restaurant chains in the US. The food is fire and consistently good, and the staff is always super friendly. I eat at the place a lot, personally. While the food and service is banging, Chick Fil A has had controversy unrelated to these things. And almost all of it comes from LGBT activists, because Chick Fil A has donated money to anti-gay organizations in the past. Hell, their CEO Dan Cathy even once spoke out against gay marriage in 2012, saying it was wrong. But the homophobic chicken be slapping though. There have been many who have protested outside of Chick Fil A because of the anti-gay stuff, but in 2012, an individual named Adam Smith took the fight to the drive-thru, expressing his rage about Chick Fil A's transgressions to an individual who literally couldn't do anything about it if they wanted to, the hourly worker at the window. This video begins with Adam sitting in the drive-thru. Apparently, this fuckwad had ordered a free water so as to not give the company any of his money, but also giving him the opportunity to go to the drive-thru window.
Well, I'm waiting in line. I'm next in line. I'm pretty excited about my free water. I also see like a group of 30 college-age students over there. I'm wondering if they're doing a sit-in. I'm so excited I might just join them. But let's see what happens with my free water, and I think I might just say a few words too. Let's see.
As soon as he makes it up there, Adam unloads on the rather cheerful and respectful employee. And I gotta say, this girl, man, she deserves a fucking award with the way she handles this Looney Tune. Take a look.
Here I go. Hey, how you doing?
Fine.
Good. Is this my free water?
It is.
Awesome. You know why I'm getting the free water, right?
I do not.
Because Chick Fil A is a hateful corporation.
I disagree.
I know,
we
but
don't treat any of our customers differently. We don't.
I know, but you guys, but the corporation gives money to hate groups. Hate groups. Just because people want to kiss another guy. Sorry?
I have to stay neutral on the subject. My personal beliefs
No, I
shouldn't be in the
understand.
workplace.
Yeah, I believe that too. I don't believe corporations should be giving money to
I'm
hateful
really uncomfortable
groups.
that you're videotaping.
Totally understand. I'll take my water.
Okay. It's my pleasure to serve you always.
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm glad that I can take a little bit of money from Chick Fil A and maybe less money to hate groups.
Well,
Have a great day.
We're always happy to serve every
I don't know how you live with yourself
Anything you
and
need.
work here. I don't understand it. This is a horrible corporation with horrible values.
We're here to
You
serve
deserve
you
better.
in any way that you need.
You deserve better. Rachel deserves better. Okay?
I hope you have a really nice day.
I will. I just did something really good. I feel purposeful. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Okay. I'm a nice guy, by the way, and I'm
You
totally
are.
heterosexual. I'm not gay in me. I just can't stand the hate, you know? It gotta stop. It's gotta stop, guys.
Well,
Stand up.
Have a nice day.
All right. See you guys.
Bro, I love how he has to clarify that he's not gay.
I'm totally heterosexual.
I mean, what a half-baked attempt at a roast. You can kind of tell he knew he was getting owned halfway through it. It's pathetic. Though apparently Adam didn't think it was pathetic enough not to be posted, so he uploads it online. Considering what we've seen from this blockhead, I'm sure he probably thought people would take his side here. But no, he was almost unanimously hated. After all, he was harassing a hardworking employee and she was so nice to him in spite of his awful behavior.
It's my pleasure to serve you always.
How could you not support this girl and hate on this fucker? The blowback from his actions at Chick Fil A would be swift and severe. It was soon reported by Business Insider that Adam had gotten fired from his job after the video went viral. It turns out he was chief financial officer at a medical supply company named Vante, which I can only imagine was a pretty lucrative position to be getting fired from over something this dumb. After getting fired, Adam went into damage control mode and tried his best to repair his reputation, even creating an apology video, but it didn't help much.
Rachel, I am so very sorry for the way I spoke to you on Wednesday. You handled my frustrating rant with such dignity and composure. And every time I watch the video, I'm blown away by really the beauty in what you did and your kindness and your patience with me.
His apology did little to quell the backlash, and the video was bombarded with dislikes. Apparently, this situation has gone on to haunt Mr. Smith in a serious way. A couple of years after the incident, ABC News released a report revealing that Smith hadn't been able to land a significant job in the time since his Chick Fil A drive-thru fiasco, stating that he went from making over $200 grand a year to now subsisting on food stamps. He had gotten a job at a firm in Portland, Oregon, but had been fired only a couple weeks after his employment due to them discovering his old rant. And what about Rachel, the Chick Fil A employee that he yelled at? Well, you probably won't be surprised to hear that she actually ended up forgiving him. She actually felt bad that the guy blew up his own life. How Christ-like of her. Very Chick Fil A coded behavior from Rachel here.
I was still in shock from the fact that the video he took of me was going viral on the internet, and I just really didn't know how to react when he came by the next morning.
Well, now, as you know, he has apologized, and I believe that apology has probably gone viral too. Do you accept that apology?
I do forgive Adam Smith. I think he realizes how bad of a decision it was to make that tape, and I feel really sorry for him and his family and everything that's happened to him since Wednesday.
Next, we'll be discussing one of the most classic fired for a social media post cases out there. An unhinged, racially charged tweet made by somebody who worked in public relations. Justine Sacco was a public relations executive for IAC Incorporated. She would make a rather unsavory social media mistake that propelled her into the spotlight of public scrutiny in a big way, ruining her life for a period of time. In December of 2013, Justine was taking a trip from her home state of New York to visit family in South Africa. It was around the holidays, so she thought she'd pay him a visit. During a layover in London, she got bored and began firing off a few tweets from her personal Twitter account, which only had about 200 followers. Most of these were relatively inoffensive, but one of them was, let's just say, a bit spicy. It read, "Going to Africa. Hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding, I'm white." Like, bro, this tweet is bad on, I don't know, like 3 levels. It makes fun of Africa, AIDS victims, and I guess black people too. This one should have stayed in the drafts, homegirl. Now, the tweet didn't get any attention initially. Even as she was boarding her next flight, nobody had responded to it. So the woman, she gets on the plane, turns her phone off, and takes a nap as she's going to Cape Town, South Africa. In the meantime, someone found her AIDS tweet. Noticing that Justine was a PR executive at IAC, they felt it was wildly inappropriate. So they forwarded her post to a journalist working at Gawker named Sam Biddle. Biddle would go on to share this offensive tweet to Gawker's sister website, Valleywag. BuzzFeed got a hold of it as well. Internet users bombarded her employer with demands for punishment, but Justine couldn't be contacted. And that's because, well, all of this had been unfolding during her flight. She didn't have internet nor any idea people had even seen the tweet. Once users picked up on the fact that Justine hadn't responded because she was in the middle of flying, the hashtag #HasJustineLandedYet began trending online as people eagerly waited for her inevitable shocked reaction to being canceled for her AIDS tweet. When Justine did finally land, she was horrified as to what had unfolded. The woman instantly deleted her Twitter account, but Pandora's box had already been opened. Justine soon got word that she was getting fired, understandably so. In light of her termination, she offered this apology. Words cannot express how sorry I am and how necessary it is for me to apologize to the people of South Africa who I have offended due to a needless and careless tweet. Unfortunately, it is terribly easy to be cavalier about an epidemic that one has never witnessed firsthand. While you might expect this to be a career ruiner, Justine would recover from this absurd controversy and has landed additional corporate roles in the years following the scandal. You gotta wonder what was going through her head when she hit publish on this tweet. I like to think the years of PR, mental gymnastics, and communications jargon involved with her job just caused her to snap one day, and in the lapse, she just tweeted out the most offensive thing that she could think of at the time. Whatever the case, it's a truly classic tweet. Bro, what the hell's going on? I'm hacked. They got my data. So getting fired is one thing, but what about when posting online gets your whole identity stolen? Just go ahead and Google yourself. Right now, your full name, email, phone number, home address, and date of birth are likely floating around on the internet, leaving you at risk for hacking threats and even worse, potential stalkers. You have opportunistic data brokers to thank for your information being out there, and today's sponsor Incogni can help identify it and get it off of the internet for good. Incogni does what would be virtually impossible for you to do on your own. They track down the data brokers who have your information online and submit information removal requests on your behalf. This would take literal days doing it alone, and honestly, I don't think you would have much success. Leave it to the pros. You don't want to end up in a data leak, and these brokers play fast and loose with your information, so take it back from them before your passwords or other personal info gets leaked. When signing up for Incogni, I was shocked to find just how many brokers had been peddling my data. Incogni indicated 245 instances of my personally identifying information on the web, and they sent requests to take down each occurrence. And within a few days, they got my data off the internet for good, and many of these data brokers were compelled to add me to a suppression list, meaning they won't be able to get my information in the future, and Incogni's just fighting for me on all fronts going forward. Take back your personal data with Incogni. Use code WavyWebSurf at the link below to get 60% off an annual plan. That's at incogni.com/WavyWebSurf. The Elmo meme firing and lawsuit. Most of the stories we've covered so far are about employees getting fired for ethically bankrupt or disgusting behavior that needed immediate correction and punishment. However, in this next case, the cause for firing really isn't all that egregious. It's actually quite silly, and ironically, what this employee did led to some of the most serious consequences that you'll see in today's video: a lawsuit. This story begins in late 2019 with a 23-year-old named Cody Hidalgo. Cody had recently gotten a job at a small masonry company based in Detroit, Michigan. Things were great for a while, but it could be assumed that the work there was hard and the physical labor at the job certainly was worthy of a gripe or two, even by the most dedicated of employees. Which brings us to social media. So it had been about 2 months at the masonry company, and on a day off, Cody is browsing Facebook when he finds a meme posted to a friend's page. The meme featured Elmo from Sesame Street sitting on the toilet with the caption stating, "Boss makes $1, I make a dime, that's why I poop on company time." Boomer tier meme, right? We've all seen this type of I hate my job joke on social media before. My collar's blue, but my neck is red. Now, Cody thought this meme was relatable and funny, so he decided to share it to his page. And for some reason, his bosses didn't seem to appreciate the joke. One of them had seen Cody share this meme and would later reach out to him through text message, clearly pissed off. "We don't make $1 when you are shitting all the time. Why don't you stay home and do your shit? I don't like to play your bullshit games. Maybe there's a company out there that will put up with your games because I won't. Good luck." Cody, who was a bit surprised that his boss was so triggered, responded asking for clarification. The boss says, "Look on your Facebook page. Do you think things don't get around?" Cody says, "Because I shared a funny meme on a Sunday when I'm not at work?" The boss says, "You brought work into it on a Sunday." Cody says, "So you're going to fire me over a meme I shared that was nowhere relevant to work at all." Cody continues to send messages, but the boss stops responding, leading to Cody apparently believing that he had been fired for sharing the stupid meme. So some of you are probably like, yeah, fuck around and find out, and I hear you, but I think the guy at least deserves some kind of meeting or phone call with the boss. Maybe give a warning first, right? Like, I worked many jobs myself, and I had a situation kind of like this happen once when I was much younger, involving me posting a photo of myself soaked in rainwater while collecting grocery carts, and I think the caption was like, "fuck my life" or something, okay? So what happened was my boss saw this, but they didn't just instantly fire me. They sat me down and were like, "Yo, is this a joke, or do you actually just hate your job and not want this anymore?" And I was like, "No, this is totally just a meme. I want to be employed." And the problem was totally resolved, and I was just like a perfect employee after that. It wasn't serious from me. I was just joking around. Shout out Publix, by the way, one of the best jobs I've ever had. Cody felt like his boss was being a giant pussy, so he decided to post the meme again and the text message exchange in a new post. And because of how dumb and silly all of this was, coupled with the boss's irritated reaction, the call-out post went viral. Many sympathize with Cody, going out of their way to bombard the stone-cutting business with bad reviews. And while I don't agree with this tactic, some criticism seems warranted here. That's of course if Cody is being entirely truthful about the situation. You see, the masonry company would fire back, challenging Cody's "I got fired because of a meme" narrative in a big way. Included in an article from 7 Action News was a statement from the company's lawyer, Jan Jeffrey Rubenstein. In it, the attorney claimed that Cody hadn't actually been fired from this text message, and that Cody had actually worked a shift at some point after receiving these messages. When asked about this discrepancy, Cody admitted that he had indeed gone to his job 2 days after the text exchange, but only because he wasn't sure if he was actually fired or not. Apparently, Cody at some point would walk off the job site and his employment was terminated. But technically and legally speaking, Cody was not fired over text message because of the meme. And it's important to have this established moving forward. Because of Cody's actions bashing his former employer, the masonry company lawyered up and pursued legal action against him. They alleged that their reputation had been damaged by his words and that members of the company had received death threats because of his posts. Cody did his best to mitigate the circumstances at hand, going to the media and even expressing regret, saying he had gone too far with his call-out posts. There wouldn't be any major updates to this story for several years, but its resolution would finally come in 2023, after Business Insider released an article revealing that legal proceedings had since commenced and concluded. The article reports that Cody had failed to defend himself against a defamation lawsuit issued by the company and was forced to pay $150,000 in restitution to them. This allegedly resulted in Cody filing for bankruptcy, with the story serving as a dire cautionary tale to all. Complaining about your work online, well, you're entering dangerous territory, my friend. You could go as far as to say that sharing this meme bashing his workplace, in my opinion, it ruined his life. Do I think he deserved it? Absolutely not, but he got sued, and that's the story of the shitty Elmo meme and Cody Hidalgo. Taco Bell pranks gone wrong. I'm no stranger to covering the various sickening exploits of fast food employees on this channel. But the more I think about it, I don't believe I've ever discussed a Taco Bell employee incident, and that just seems wrong. Taco Bell is S tier, by the way, don't at me. I love the dog food ground beef, nobody will convince me to not. I am dying on this hill, and also the Cantina chicken menu is fire. So there actually are two insane examples of Taco Bell employees getting fired for doing some disgusting shit at work and it being posted online. The first involves someone pissing. This story takes place all the way back in the summer of 2012, and it begins with a tweet from a Taco Bell employee named Cameron Jankowski. At Hunter Moore at Is Anyone Up? Guess where I work? Hashtag Piss Olympics, hashtag Nacho Bel Grande. Attached to the tweet was a photo of Cameron seemingly urinating in the restaurant's kitchen, pissing on a pile of Nachos Bel Grande during his night shift at Taco Bell. This is like Burger King foot lettuce's crackhead cousin, Jesus Christ. So why do this? Well, you may notice that Cameron addressed his post to Hunter Moore and Is Anyone Up, which is Hunter Moore's controversial revenge porn website. The TLDR on Hunter Moore is that he was this piece of shit influencer popular in the early 2010s who had a lot of sway online, and people would try to impress him with vile stunts and get his attention. And if your post was crazy enough, Hunter would send you a t-shirt or give you a shout out. Cameron was clearly trying to appeal to this guy. Now, obviously, you had people responding to this shocking image on Twitter calling him a piece of shit for contaminating food. But Cameron would make an important clarification in a response tweet. Quote, "Sorry for disappointing you all, but I didn't serve those. That's too fucked up. Haha. I pissed on them where nobody could see, in private, and threw them away. There's literally nothing they can do. Fire me. I don't care." According to Cameron, it was a victimless crime, but I mean, how sure are we that Nachos Bel Grande aren't sentient? While a firing was most certainly on the horizon, that's not all Cameron had to worry about. After posting this nacho desecration image and pissing off the internet, his Twitter account was literally hacked by Anonymous. Yeah, like the scary online hacker guys with the masks. I'm not making this up. And his fucking docs was published online shortly after via a public YouTube video that was created by one of the anonymous hackers. These dudes were passionate about their Taco Bell. Image of the actual hacker shown on screen now. This docs would in turn reveal that the nacho pissing incident by Cameron took place at a Taco Bell located in Fort Wayne, Indiana. With the guy's name out there and the store identified, Taco Bell quickly stepped in and terminated Cameron within hours of the incident. After being fired, Cameron was interviewed by the local media, and in this interview, he actually makes a surprising claim. That being that the piss that we see in the infamous nacho photo, well, he says it wasn't really urine. It was a Mountain Dew golden shower.
But Jankowski says what looks like urine was all a prank.
It was Mountain Dew, and like I threw it right away.
And I gotta be honest, if you look at the spray pattern, this does kind of look like the trick where you cut a slit in the top of a bottle and spray liquid out of it, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. The stream seems a bit too forceful to be of penile origin, but hell, maybe Cam is just that guy and he can piss like a pressure washer. I don't know. In the end, Cameron did seem remorseful, saying the incident had resulted in him being unable to get work in the fast food industry, and he ended his statement here with a warning to anyone who might be thinking of pulling off a similar stunt.
The 19-year-old says he finally got another job, but the kicker? Jankowski never got that t-shirt for the picture. All he received was a lesson on what not to do on social networks.
Don't post any personal business on social networks. I mean, nothing like too personal or anything. Like, it'll come back to haunt you.
The early 2010s would turn out to be a pretty bad era for Taco Bell in terms of employees acting like idiots, because about a year after Cameron's incident, another worker got in trouble for online antics. In June of 2013, a sickening photo began circulating online, this time showing what appeared to be a Taco Bell employee licking a massive tower of taco shells meant for customer consumption. Absolutely diabolical. This taco licker image quickly made the rounds on social media, with the pic becoming somewhat of a meme, though most people were just disgusted by it. Commenters wrote, "This sure says a lot about your employees, food treatment, and what they post on the internet. Had to share it, so disgusting." Taco Bell immediately took notice, quickly launching an investigation into the matter. Who was licking on these shells and where can we find him? Well, given the fact that the employee's face was fully visible in the picture, it wouldn't take long for them to apprehend this tortilla-licking terrorist. After performing an employee interrogation, which may or may not have involved torture, on June 3rd, Taco Bell would publish a statement explaining exactly what had led up to the infamous image being taken. They said it wasn't as bad as it looked. Apparently, around the time of this photo being snapped, Taco Bell had been making preparations to release their new line of Cool Ranch Doritos Locos Tacos, which are vastly inferior to the nacho cheese ones, by the way, but I'll continue. In the prep stage of this Cool Ranch taco shell release, the company launched an internal competition of sorts amongst their employees, which encouraged workers to take photos of themselves eating or trying the new Doritos Loco tacos. Now, if you were to ask me, that is what's happening in this photo, but clearly Taco Bell didn't intend for workers to get this abstract. I mean, whatever happened to artistic expression? Let the man paint on his preferred canvas. The tongue is his brush. Anyways, this photo was taken during an internal contest and it got posted to the internet months later by this worker, sparking online disgust. Taco Bell's response, quote, "We do not believe these employees harmed or intended to harm anyone, but we deplore the impressions this has caused to our customers. Our franchisee is responsible for the employment and conduct of this restaurant's employees and has informed us that he immediately suspended the employee shown in the photo and is in the process of terminating his employment. The employee who took the photo no longer works there." It was later discovered that the infamous incident had occurred at a Taco Bell location in Ridgecrest, California, though the particular store number or name of the employee has been lost to time. I gotta be honest, I feel bad for this worker. I mean, they just got a little too enthusiastic while participating in Taco Bell's photo challenge. The world just wasn't ready for this guy's artistic vision. Dental employee brags about stolen journal on Snapchat. This story begins with Premier Dental Group, a dental provider based out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Now, it must be stated that this dental group is no stranger to controversy. The company agreed to settle and paid out close to $1 million in a lawsuit that alleged them of submitting false medical claims in a scheme to collect extra TennCare money from the state. Now, over here in Middle Tennessee, where I live, we call that fraud. Sadly, what we find is that even the lower level employees of this dental group were prone to misconduct as well. It's like trickle down economics, but for shitty business practices here. During a workday in August of 2024, some morally questionable dental staff members managed to get their hands on a patient's private journal. How exactly they obtained it is unclear. It could be assumed that the diary was mistakenly left behind after a routine dental appointment, you know? The patient left their bag and the journal itself in the exam room. Now, the person who owned this journal was said to have been a cancer patient, and the journal itself contained sensitive information about their struggles with the illness. Now, instead of simply keeping the diary safe until the owner returned or, reaching out to the patient to notify them about it, the employees instead decide to read from the patient's diary out loud in the office for entertainment purposes. And they record it. A sick violation of the person's privacy.
I have 2 new ones, which are dermal, so they are not risking anything. I'm going to continue in the testing and the next, but my views have not changed on treatment. I'm not going to do any dialysis, chemo, radiation, or infusions. I I will agree to surgery, but it's to repair or correct, but I am not having anything removed unless they know what's causing the failure.
While the video of the diary reading was originally posted to Snapchat, another user recorded it and uploaded it elsewhere for the broader internet to see. The clip quickly spread across social media platforms like Reddit and Twitter, and as you might expect, outrage and disgust followed. Considering the gross nature of what the employees did, it was only a matter of time until people brigaded Premier Dental's social media pages and, swarmed it with comments and concerned remarks. People were like, hey, you fucking piece of shit, why are you reading that cancer journal? After becoming aware of the clip's existence, the dental group issued the following statement to their Facebook page. We are aware of a recent incident involving an inappropriate video created and shared by some of our employees. We deeply regret this incident and the hurt that it has caused. First and foremost, we want to extend our sincere apologies to the individual or individuals affected by this video, as well as to their family and friends. But for the time, this was just lip service. The group had provided zero definitive confirmation that the individuals responsible for the diary theft and reading of it had faced any sort of punishment. So unsurprisingly, it did little to quell the unruly online mob that had formed. Hell, the company actually disabled their Facebook page shortly after issuing this statement, leaving people even angrier. If the bit about the diary owner being a cancer patient is true, it really makes the whole thing beyond sick. You go to the medical professionals that are supposed to help you, and in all reality, they're caught violating your privacy and trying to humiliate you. These workers gotta go. With seemingly nothing being done, proper news outlets began to report on the incident, resulting in it becoming something of a national ordeal. And this additional pressure seemed to do the trick. Local Knoxville-based outlet WBIR soon reported that the employees responsible for airing out the diary had in fact been fired for inappropriate conduct. WBIR also wrote about a new statement from Premier Dental that claimed the company would be reviewing their internal policies and training procedures going forward. Some people are just pieces of shit, and I don't think any kind of training can fix that, I'm afraid. So while it would have been great if this never happened at all, thankfully those responsible were unemployed, as they should be. However, I haven't even really disclosed to you the most outrageously stupid part of this story. So after the incident went viral, you had this girl right here, the one sitting on the ground in the infamous diary reading Snapchat video, which started all of this. Well, after getting fired, she would actually take to social media and revel in her own infamy. You might expect her to purge her entire internet presence as soon as the controversy broke out. But instead, she took to TikTok to try to own her haters. Look, I'm sorry, girl, but you're actually fucking ridiculous. TikToker soon found herself facing mountains of comments, essentially telling her to jump into an active volcano. The bratty former dentistry employee would eventually deactivate the account, unable to take the heat caused by her own shitty behavior. Let's hope the woman never works in the healthcare industry ever again. Brand account tweet gets somebody fired. So in today's internet landscape, it's common for companies and brands to employ the use of snarky public-facing social media accounts, to stay relatable with younger customers. Wendy's, Popeyes, Denny's, you name it, companies are posting memes and jokes now, and that's just kind of part of the way businesses like this market these days. If you go back to 2011, the concept of a brand embracing internet culture and memes was still pretty foreign and novel. Most accounts belonging to corporations stuck to standard announcement-style posts advertising their products in a really boring way. But there was one company that accidentally broke the mold, and you could argue they inadvertently created the concept of a brand meme account making edgy tweets without even trying to do it. In March of 2011, internet users were shocked when the brand account for Chrysler Motors tweeted out, quote, "I find it ironic that Detroit is known as the Motor City, and yet no one here knows how to fucking drive," unquote. Now, this actually does kind of seem like something a car company would tweet in 2025, but needless to say, it's really unhinged for 2011. Nobody had seen anything like this before. Yo, Detroit viewers, what's the traffic like up there? I mean, I can tell you it sucks here in Nashville. Are you guys actually terrible drivers? Naturally, the tweet sparked tons of chatter, with most being amused at the absurd juxtaposition here. An esteemed company posting something so crass online, it was truly novel. Perhaps this was some sort of publicity stunt, some thought. Maybe the car giant had decided to embrace a new, edgier image. While many companies would in fact take this approach in the coming years, it turns out Chrysler had no such plans to do so, and this entire tweet was a massive mistake. But the post was soon deleted, and a new one was published replacing it, claiming that the Chrysler account had been compromised, though that wasn't the full truth of the matter. Over the next several weeks, more details would emerge as news outlets such as NBC began reporting and digging into the bizarre incident. The real reason for the controversial tweet being published was due to an operating error by contracted employee Scott Bartoszewicz, who worked for a third-party marketing firm which handled Chrysler's media pages. Apparently, Scott had meant to issue the offending tweet to his personal account, but had accidentally forgotten which one he was logged into, and he posted his shitpost to Chrysler's main one. Scott, of course, was immediately fired for the mistake, but he wasn't all too bitter about the company's decision, as he had made it a legitimate screw-up and completely owned up to it. A spokesman for Chrysler named Ed Garston stated, quote, "The company has invested greatly, not only financially but philosophically, in supporting Detroit and the US auto industry, and we simply couldn't tolerate any messaging, whether or not there was an obscenity that was denigrating to Detroit." By the end of things, the tweet had become a legendary meme, and it still makes its rounds on websites today, becoming iconic and earning its place in the proverbial snarky brand tweet Hall of Fame. Thankfully, Scott would end up getting a new job. In the aftermath of his firing, he landed a gig managing the social media profile of the Michigan Arts, Beats, and Eats Festival. With all of this having taken place over a decade ago, it's unclear what the guy's doing today. But if he's currently unemployed, Wendy's, Popeyes, any of these annoying fucking brand accounts online, you should hire this guy. He's pretty based and knows what he's doing. Whatever the case, Detroit, are you guys gonna accept Scott's slander? Do you really not know how to fucking drive? Sound off below. The apartment complex hall monitor Karen loses her job. In October of 2018, a filmed interaction between a black man named Darion Tolles and a white woman, seemingly in her late 30s, went viral. The video shows Mr. Darion, who happened to reside in the same apartment complex as the girl, attempting to enter his building before being stopped dead in his tracks at the doorway.
I need you to move out my way, please.
No.
Ma'am, please stop touching me.
I'm not touching you.
You just was previously before.
I'm not touching you at all.
So I'm going to step in.
I'm not touching you, and I'm not in any way doing anything outside of letting my dog go to the bathroom.
And I live here and you're blocking the door.
What unit?
I don't need to tell you that. What unit do you live in?
Despite repeatedly making it clear that he was a legitimate resident, she continues to pester him. The video goes on for another few minutes, showing the chick following him up to his apartment and even standing there as he puts his keys into his own door.
You just follow me all the way to my door.
As a player,
and you see my keys in the door.
As
that is so that.
As a record, I just want to say hi.
Ma'am,
What is your name?
Ma'am, you just no. Have a good night, ma'am. Don't ever do that again. You look pretty stupid on video. Have a nice night. And my name's Mr. Tolles. Thank you.
The video was initially shared to Facebook, but it garnered so much buzz that it spread to the wider internet. Once it got to YouTube, it received over 42 million views. The woman's extremely entitled attitude resulted in many characterizing her as a Karen, giving her the nickname Apartment Patty. That being said, it wouldn't be long before the woman's employers stumbled across the controversy and took action. Mainstream news outlets such as the New York Times reported that her name was Hillary Brooke Mueller, revealing that she worked at a real estate management company called Tribeca STL. Apparently, after the cameras had been turned off, she had gone so far as to call the police, claiming she was, quote, uncomfortable. She was fired from her position at the company, with many onlookers baffled as to why she had even bothered the man in the first place. As you can probably guess, most assumed it was because she was another racist Karen lady that didn't know why somebody who was black could possibly ever live in her complex. Though Hillary said this wasn't the case, soon hitting back at her critics. She soon did an interview with Fox 2 News, attempting to justify her behavior, claiming that she had been concerned that Mr. Tolles didn't actually live there. And she said that she was just trying to keep the apartment complex safe. When questioned about why she had felt that this was her responsibility, she stated,
"My only intent was to follow the direction that I had been given by our condo association board members repeatedly, and that is to never allow access to any individual that you do not know."
Ironically, the article goes on to point out that she had been married to a biracial man named Brandon Mueller, who later spoke out on the incident. Business Insider reported that although Hillary had initially tried to defend herself by claiming she was married to a black man, Brandon revealed that they had been separated for over a year by that point, though they weren't technically officially divorced though. He was horrified at the incident, stating, "My only hope is that we as a community can use this as an opportunity to do what my late father taught me many years ago, to not allow others' ignorance to incite anger and hatred, but to use it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and promote love." In the end, this incident went down as yet another example of a Karen gone wild. Occasionally, it's referenced on social media platforms like Reddit and Twitter, but it is one of the more goated Karen moments. And well, you made it to the end of the video. Let me know what you guys thought about this one down below in the comments section, and let me know who or what you want me to talk about next. I want to give a major shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys. Wavy Web Surf out. Peace.